Good evening. Severe weather continues to roll across green country right now, threatening parts of our area.
Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Travis Meyer and his team of experts to get the very latest right now. Travis?
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Once again, severe weather, at least the severe thunderstorm warnings. The good news is that has ended. The problem, though, is that we have flood warnings across the region. And these flood warnings are very significant because a lot of people get in trouble because of flooding. So we do have this polygon here that goes all the way back into southern portions of Pawnee County, northeastern portions of Payne County, northern Creek County, and Tulsa County. This is a flood warning till 7:45 tonight because of all the rain we had during the afternoon. And we're going to look at the rainfall in just a minute. We have a new flood warning that now covers southern Tulsa County, and that extends across the eastern portions of Creek County and northern Okmulgee County. Some of the heaviest rain and thunderstorms, we have some showing up now from Pink to Little to Okemah, and then to Okmulgee. And so these are some of the areas of heaviest thunderstorms. Let's come into Tulsa, and then we're going to talk about severe weather just to our northeast. Around the area right now, heavy rain. These are not severe in Okmulgee County. We've dropped the severe thunderstorm warning, but localized extremely heavy downpours of rain of an inch or more an hour is falling at this time. And the rainfall amounts in this area have been stunning, and we're still looking at areas around Tulsa with localized heavy rainfall. In fact, let's look at some of the rainfall amounts and give you an idea. So these are areas from Tulsa Hills around the Oakhurst area in southwest Tulsa to Sand Springs, especially the south side of Sand Springs, to around the Prattville area. These orange areas continue to show us anywhere from around 3 to 4 to 5 inches of rain over the course of just the last about 3 hours to maybe 4 hours in a few cases, like around Prattville where it started a little bit earlier. But I mean, these are stunning amounts of water that have fallen. So that means low-lying areas, low water crossings, don't cross them. And this is a pretty good chunk of the area of southwest Tulsa, and that even gets into central Tulsa. And so we've still had 2-3 inches of rain anywhere from south and west of I-40 or southwest of the Broken Arrow Expressway, and then that goes all the way down, and you can go down the Creek Turnpike. The Creek Turnpike is almost the cutoff for Tulsa from around Jenks. Jenks, in fact, the north side of Jenks from around the airport, where we picked up 3-4 inches of rain. You go on the south side of Jenks, and we've had an inch of rain, and that's about it. So they just stopped in this area, but this is where the most intense parts of the rain have been. So this is where we want you to be careful. South Tulsa, central Tulsa, west Tulsa, northeastern Creek County. Now let's go up to the northeast and take a quick look at the storms that are going on for you guys up northeast. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings. This is rain across the Bartlesville area with occasional little clap of thunder. Severe thunderstorm warning now for northern portions of Nowata County, and there's a big, nasty storm. New warning in effect now for northwestern Ottawa County. This storm is moving on into Cherokee County, southeast Kansas. We have a severe thunderstorm that continues to show up really in the eastern parts of Montgomery County to Labette County, but this is the worst of it. In fact, hail core on this baby is going to be pretty intense because this is going to be having, this has had a swath that has come up across the area, and we do think that this is going to have probably up to golf ball size hail potential with this. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect now around the Ottawa County area. Let's take a look at some of the time for this because this is brand new. So this is a warning that will be in effect till 6:45. So we just started our 6 o'clock newscast, so it's 6 o'clock. So 6:45 for you guys right in here. This is the worst. I do believe that most of northern portions of Craig County, not so bad. We have a warning for you guys, but just be careful. Secondary roads, especially areas prone to flooding, so aerial flood advisory in effect for you guys. Just know that that's a possibility. Back into the Tulsa area as we look at what's happening. Shower, thunderstorm activity across this area. Heavy rain, thunderstorm activity going on in Okmulgee County. Not severe, but we're going to continue to monitor it. We do have our flood warnings in effect, and as we always say, turn around, don't drown. We have more on the weather coming up shortly. Let's go to the news.
All right, Travis, thank you very much. We appreciate folks joining us for News on 6 at 6 right now. Of course, these strong winds are causing damage in several parts of green country right now.
Absolutely. News on 6's Reagan Ledbetter is live on the scene in Sand Springs, where there's been a lot of flooding and damage as well. Reagan?
Yeah, Craig and Chad, we've driven around quite a bit to find a lot of trees down, branches down. Some lady stopped us when we were driving out here and said a trampoline is actually thrown over a fence. And so we wanted to come over here and check it out. And sure enough, a trampoline is in this front yard right now. Some of the pieces are torn off of it. Now over here, this is where the trampoline started, behind this fence right here in the backyard of this house. The trampoline came over the fence from the wind, missed the truck, blew across the street over here, and ended up landing in this yard over here. And after a while, it landed in the street for a while. The people who own the house behind me ended up pulling it back over here. So right now we're going to continue to drive around and kind of see what we can find out here. But again, a lot of power lines down, a lot of trees down, a lot of branches in the roads. We had to dodge a few branches and sticks and leaves in the roadway. A lot of garbage bins and recycle bins are thrown across the road. And so a lot going on out here. Some guy said he had a shed that actually ended up a couple yards over from his place, and we're going to go check that out right now and see what we can find. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Reagan. At the Jones Airport in Jenks, a small plane flipped over when the strong winds came through. Our crews on the scene say this was not near the runway, and it doesn't appear anyone was nearby when the plane flipped.
And during all of the really heavy rain, take a look at this. One of our storm trackers came across a man on a scooter stuck in the high water in Prattville, as you can see there. He had to walk that scooter out. He was able to get out safely. That's a dangerous situation there. Well, quite a few people were out of power when the brunt of this storm came through. At its peak, PSO reported nearly 20,000 people out of power. The bulk of those were in West Tulsa, Sand Springs, and Jenks. Many of them have now had their power restored. And we want to make sure you stay connected to our weather coverage. You can do that with our free News on 6 weather app. We'll check back in with Travis coming up in just a little bit, but we have some other stories to tell you about as well. A jury is now hearing evidence in the competency trial of Deontay Green. Green is charged with a string of robberies, the rape of an elderly woman, and the murder of a Broken Arrow school teacher. This trial should be over tomorrow. News on 6 crime reporter Lori Fulbright is on the story with the latest.
A jury has now been selected for this competency trial. This is a little bit unusual because even though this jury will be allowed to know that Deontay Green is charged with robbery, rape, and murder, they are not deciding his guilt or innocence on that. They are simply deciding if he is competent to go to trial on those charges. They have to decide two things: if he can understand the nature of the proceedings against him, and if he's capable of helping his defense in that case. Once the jury decides that, then we'll know what the next step is. So if they find him competent to stand trial, then another jury will decide whether he's guilty or innocent. If they find him incompetent to stand trial, he'll go to a mental hospital for treatment. So this jury is not going to hear a lot of evidence about the crimes themselves, but one thing the judge says they will be allowed to hear is part of his interview with police, where prosecutors say he details his crimes. They say that's important because they need to hear in his own words whether they think he's competent or not. On the scene on the story in Tulsa, Lori Fulbright, News on 6.
The Oklahoma Criminal Court of Appeals denied the appeal of a Creek County man convicted of child abuse and child neglect. Cody Hayes is serving 20 years in prison for the abuse after police found 5 children starving in his home. Hayes claimed there wasn't enough evidence to convict him, but the Court of Appeals disagreed. The Tulsa Regional Chamber of Commerce is working to educate business owners in Green Country on how medical marijuana will impact their workplaces. It can be tricky to navigate as federal and state regulations conflict. Some federally regulated positions in some industries will still require that employees not use medical marijuana.
Another critical step that we're urging employers to take is to train their managers and supervisors on how to manage these issues the right way.
The Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority will begin accepting medical marijuana applications at the end of this month.
The University of Oklahoma inaugurated its new president today. James Gallagly takes over after David Bourne's 24-year tenure. The 14th president of the university is facing some mounting budget problems as OU continues to dive deeper into debt. Gallagly says he's already making progress in that area and that he's found several ways to save the university money. An Oklahoma girl is recovering after a violent stabbing on the first day of school. Also, the steps the state of Oklahoma has been taking to make sure schools are safe. And we're still following these storms live after buckets of rain have been dumped on parts of Green Country.